Hello, collective, and welcome back. And sorry, this is a little delay. I'm going to talk quickly because I know y'all like to get straight to the video. This is going to be finishing off the advice for the rest of the zodiac signs. So we're going to be with Libra. We're going to get right down to it. Okay, let's clear a little bit of the energy. All right, here we go. So Libra, we're going to do it in the 4 quarters of the year. So it's once every 3 months. So here's your energy in the first quarter of 2026. Now this is a timeless reading, so this will obviously apply to any year when you find this. First one, Hierophant. Oh, sorry, that's the Hierophant. This is this is a new one. Let me check it out. Because this is like the beeswax deck or something. Let me see real quick. So I'm not too familiar with the pictures. Hold on. Major Arcana 5. Yeah, it was the Hierophant. I was so right. It's the Hierophant. Okay. It's the Hierophant. So you're coming off as very intuitive for the year, and you really need to trust your judgment. And I really recommend that any big decisions that need to be made, be logical about them, but really trust what your gut is telling you and what your spirit guides are telling you. Okay? Yes, because you want to make new big decisions for the year. Especially, I think what's going to end up happening with you, Libra, you're all about you're all about balance in your life, scales of justice, and so forth. And I think it's time that you realize that you've allowed the scales to lean too much to other people, and I think you're trying to lean them back to yourself. And I think it's very important that you use your gut and how you're going to do this, because one, it's when you make the decision based on your gut rather than other people's opinions, this is going to allow you to feel better about the decision, because when you take someone else's opinion and do what they say, you're going to be second guessing yourself the whole time. And second, you're ready for something new. You're tired of being, I don't want to say that being harmonious isn't a good thing, but in this case, it feels like complacency. You're ready for something different. You're ready to grow. You're ready for something new. Okay, that's going to be your first quarter. In your second quarter, we're going to have the Six of Swords and the Ten of Pentacles. So immediately what I'm getting is that you're going to end up having, anyways, you like my mat from, I think this is Lorcana from Disney. Anyways, just a little side note. But you're going to move away from things that don't serve you, or a situation that doesn't serve you. I think that a lot of the drama that you had in 2025 or the past year, I don't want to say that it was self-inflicted, but I think that once you saw the drama coming towards you, maybe someone put you in it, you could have gotten out of it and you didn't. So like, let's just say that someone like took your car and like scratched it, right? They borrowed your car and scratched it. Well, instead of learning from that, you allowed that same person to keep using your car and they did more damage. So it's very important that you're going to start moving away from people that are not trustworthy, situations that don't benefit you. You're going to start having things in your life that benefit you. And how was that known? Because we have the Ten of Pentacles here. And this is really important because what you're doing is, once you quit giving to things that don't serve you, abundance is going to come to you in the second quarter. And that's really important, because this whole time you kept thinking that if I worked harder, if I kept serving everybody, but there's a difference in serving people and helping them and indentured servant. And it feels more like you were an indentured servant in the previous year. And now you're like, nope, I'm not doing that. I'm going to start using my resources for me. And you're going to be able to start getting this Ten of Pentacles. So now they always say, right, that you can't get that 10th pentacle per se by yourself, right? And that's kind of the thing, right? 9 to 10. What this is really saying is you could always want more than this, right? Because the 10 of Pentacles is everything you can achieve on your own, but that doesn't include what you can achieve with somebody else, okay? What do we have next? The third quarter. The Prince of Wands and the Ace of Swords. So notice how we go with Wand, Pentacle, Pentacle. So you're becoming grounded and you're getting new ideas, right? You're starting to have new thoughts for the first time. But we still have to focus on this High Priestess, because this is the main card on the board. Your intuition is going to take you in the right direction. So in the third quarter, you're going to have new passions here. You're going to have new desires. You're going to want to achieve things, go towards things. And you're going to be successful when you do them if you follow this path, okay? There's going to be some good things coming if you follow this energy. What you need to remember, though, is that you shouldn't desire things that are unrealistic. And you're like, well, then what's even the point? No, like real change happens in slow increments. So as long as you're making change every single day, then you are improving every day. You're then imitating the tarot card, which is the judgment, right? Because you're becoming a new person every day, and this is going to lead you to victory. So let's say you want to lose weight. It's the easiest one, right? Guess what? You cut back 50 calories every day for a month. That's a lot of calories. I'm not saying that's realistic, but like even if you cut back 10 calories a day, in 10 days, you're cutting off 70 calories. You don't think it's a big deal, but that's a big deficit, right? And the next day, you do another week, that's 140 calories. By the end of the month, you're down to what? 280 calories off of your diet in a month. That's going to equal weight loss. But that's what this is talking about, realistic change, okay? In your last quarter of the year, which is going to be October, November, December, I heard a tarot reader say this, and he's very knowledgeable. And I thought this was, I don't know why I pulled a third card, but we're going to use it. Um, you're finally going to accept how a relationship ended with the Three of Swords, and now it's your job to pull those swords out. That's what I learned from another tarot reader, and I thought it was great. And you're finally going to leave that alone. You may say, "Well, I'm already healed." True, but let's look at it this way. How many of you have ever seen something stuck in a tree and the tree doesn't pull it out? They grow their bark around it, so they swallow it. In the Three of Swords here, we're telling you we're going to pull that sucker out. We're not going to grow around it. We're not going to accommodate it. You already did it in that relationship or whatever it was. You already put up with it. You don't need to carry that wound your whole life. Even if there's a scar, at least the sword's not going to be in the scar. Got it? Then we have the Temperance. This is you finding balance, right? Someone once said, and I didn't think about it, like you turning water into wine, you pouring into one cup is pouring into you. What you are learning to do, and it's not contradicting this, but it's doing this. It's about doing the impossible. So how is that different from quarter three? Because the impossible is you thought you couldn't make the small changes and achieve some of the things you're going to achieve after the third quarter. If you try to lose 100 pounds or 20 pounds in 1 month, you're going to fail. Sorry. And if you do, that's not healthy. You're going to gain it back quickly. Sorry. I'm not an expert, but I'm just telling you my own experience and what I've heard other tons of people say. But if you learn that 1 to 2 pounds a month is doable, guess what? To you, that's like turning water into wine, because you're going to be like, shit, I can lose weight. I can do this. This is fantastic, you know? And then you're going to realize you can do things you never thought you could. And then we have the Star. Oops, sorry, I didn't see that. So you're going to have, I'll be mindful of that next time. You're going to be very hopeful. Very, very, very hopeful. And people are going to look at you in an inspiring way, because they're going to realize that the person you were at the beginning is not the person that you are at the end. And you're like, well, that's everybody. Yes, but not everyone has a good transition during the year. Some people regress, some people stay the same, and very few people actually come out better. But that's going to be you. Okay, I'm going to turn this over just because I don't want to get in trouble for that. Now, at the bottom of this deck, we have the High Priestess. So again, we are mirroring here the Hierophant, right? Sorry, I said the High Priestess earlier because it looks the same. But again, the Hierophant is still someone intuitive because of the knowledge that they have, right? It's not necessarily the High Priestess, but that explains why it's at the bottom of this deck. So you have this. You're the High Priestess now who trusts their intuition, and now you're going to have the knowledge to do so. So I misspoke there, but this is technically, I was channeling that energy because it's at the bottom of the deck. Now let's clarify this. So with the Hierophant, you're the person with knowledge, better knowledge from coming into the new year, and you're going to have you're going to be making a decision. So what is this? We have the Two of Needles. So this is the Two of Swords. This is the Nightmare Before Christmas deck. And what this is telling me is that with the new knowledge that you have, you're going to have to make some hard decisions. You're like, well, if I have new knowledge, why do I have to make a hard decision? Because the knowledge you have is about the plans that you want. it's not necessarily how everyone's going to react with what you're going to do. Let's say you want to move out of your parents' house, right? Let's say you're 19 or something. You're like, they're like, no, don't do it. Like, well, but that's what you want to do. And you've researched the apartment. You realize how you've made a budget. You've got a good paying job. At least it can make it for what you need to do. And they're like, no, right? So that's the problem, is that when you make these decisions based on the information you have, people aren't going to understand it because they don't have the knowledge that you have. Okay. When we have the Three of Wands, we have the Knight of Potions. So this is the Knight of Cups. I think this is you. I really feel like this is you trying to go looking for love. Um, I don't want to say you're going to spend your whole year looking for love, but that would explain why we have this here. You're definitely open. I based on this, I feel like you've had your heart, you've been hurt, but you're open to it again. I don't know if you're younger or not. Usually, younger people rebound quicker than people who've been in longer relationships, but you're ready for it. And I think that's partly why you're in the Two of Swords here, because you're not really sure where you want to start, but you want to start, right? You don't want to keep staying in the same area. In the second quarter, clarification is the Six of Swords. We have the Page of Presents. As you go into new areas, you want to manifest new opportunities. You want to create new things, and that's why you have the energy of the Ten of Pentacles, because you're going to actually achieve some of those in the second quarter. This would be what months? This would be April, May, and June, right? Um, so in April, May, or June, you actually want to manifest what you've gone towards. You want to see the fruits of your labor. And so you're going to be embodying this energy. And the only reason it says page isn't because, even if you still have like your own place or whatever, but maybe you realize that life is more than just your own place, or maybe you realize that you need to do more with it. So maybe you get a roommate, maybe you finally get your own apartment, maybe you ask your boyfriend or girlfriend to move in with you, whatever that may be. But you're starting to fill that space with things that you want and need. Ten of Pentacles, we have the Fool. So this is you willing to start adventures, right? Ventures or adventures to get what you want with the Ten of Pentacles. Maybe you got to invest some money. Maybe you got to work a second job. But whatever you're doing, you're willing to do it because you're claiming back your time, right? You're claiming back your time and you're using it for you. You're not using it for other people. And that's the knowledge that you gained from the first quarter. And so that's how you're going to obtain those things, to have the Ten of Pentacles energy. In the third quarter, right? This is going to be July, August, September. We have the Prince of Wands here. We have the Nine of Candles. So you're going to be working your butt off in the third quarter, and because you realize the results it's actually manifested. And now that you have a little extra money, now that you already bought some of the things that you want, now you want to go towards passions, dreams, hobbies, right? Maybe you want to paint, maybe you want to write, maybe you want to play pickleball, maybe you want to go skiing, whatever it may be. But you're going to start going towards funner things in the third quarter. It is summertime, but there's snow all around the world, and you could probably want to go to the beach or something like that. What is the Ace of Swords? The Ten of Candles. You're going to have the Ten of Wands. You're going to have this feeling that you're doing it all on your own. And I think a big part of that is because you could feel as though, like, you're going to be doing this alone, right? So I feel like you're going to be traveling alone, achieving all the success alone, and that's going to feel like a heavy burden. And this is why I think you're partly looking for new love, or somebody, some sort of situationship to have someone to travel with, to do things with, because you're going to feel very alone in this. But you're going to be successful, and you're hoping that if you're successful, it attracts love. Okay, so just make sure you attract people that want you for you and not just for what you're also achieving, right? We see so many people that travel, and then people want to be with them because they travel and they think they can be freeloaders and get a free ride. Okay. So don't fear that. It's going to come in there, but just remember, it's because you've worked very hard for what you have. What is this Three of Swords? In the fourth quarter, which is going to be October, November, December. We have the World card. Once you pull those swords out, your heart is going to heal, all three swords, and you're going to put a cycle is going to end this year. This is going to be a very healing year for you, Libra, and this is going to be very helpful. And you're going to have to decide where to go from here. So it's different with this because notice that those three of swords are being carried all through the year, and you're finally saying, I'm done with that crap. I'm done. And so, like, where do you go now with this healed heart? If you're dating someone, do you stay with them, or were you with them as a rebound? um, or do you move past all the people that hurt you, or do you give them a second chance? I don't know. That's up to you. But that's what's happening here. And you've got to really make that decision. So use the knowledge that you gain throughout the year to understand what you want to do with your newfound start. What is the temperance? We have the two of candles. Again, we have other expansion here. Now that you're trying to achieve the impossible, let's say maybe you go on a cruise by yourself. Maybe you travel by yourself. I'm traveling by myself for the second time since my divorce. And you know what? I've got to figure out what I'm going to do there. There are some naughty things I can do, and there's some good things I can do. I just know I'm going to be near a real touristy section, and I think that's going to be great. But you know what? That's for my decision to do. That's up to me to do. And that's the same thing with here. Now that you realize you can do the impossible, you're going to start realizing that you've got to actually decide the possible now. Okay. And last but not least, the star card, the Nine of Pentacles. Okay. So why is this important? You hit the 10 of Pentacle, and then guess what? Well, now that you're hopeful, now that you realize that you hit the 10 of Pentacle, you realize you can actually pass your limit. And you go back to a 9 because now you want to achieve even something greater. This is a great reading for you, Libra. I find this very positive, very empowering. I really hope you like it. At the bottom of the second deck, we have the Ace of Pentacles. You're going to create new opportunity for yourself as well. You're going to use your intuition to create new opportunity. This is just really good reading, Libra. I hope you found this helpful. And please like, subscribe, and share. I want to grow my channel. And I thank you for being part of my collective. I'll see y'all next time.